Hopefully this one blows up, or I guess we'll try this new thing. I wish that this video blows up. Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Ethan. Ethan says stuff, whatever you would like to call me, and today we'll be saying stuff about Cory Barker's Obsession, which is the internet's latest obsession, especially on the horror side. This released last week, as just mentioned, starring Indy Navarrete, Michael Johnston, Megan Lawless, and Cooper Tomlinson as the two supporters, but mainly Indy Navarrete and Michael Johnston. They steal the show, especially Indy. I'm going to refer to them by their character names or their first names for the rest of the video, just to make it easier here. This will include spoilers, so tap away if you haven't. Go tap into the movie. Highly recommend it, just to get that out of the way. So this will be mostly a good review. If you couldn't guess. Which, why would it be a bad one? This movie's phenomenal. So, you have a couple seconds to tap away real quick. Since you are here, I'm assuming you know what the movie is about, so this isn't going to be a recap, but a review. So, go tap in to watch the movie if you want to watch the movie, as I'm just going to be talking about pros and cons. Starting with the cast, as mentioned, Indy Navarrete, phenomenal actress. This is the first thing I have seen her in. I'm not familiar with any of her other work, and in this alone, I am sold. I hope she is also in Cory Barker's upcoming Texas Chainsaw reboot, remake, whatever specifically is going to be, as well as his next upcoming film, which is the one that they are going to have. Well, it's already filmed, so don't know if she's in it or not. But I hope she's going to be in Texas Chainsaw, at least, as a final girl. Some people have been saying that she's going to be one of the family members. I'd also be down for that. She's incredible in this movie. Phenomenal. She is up there with Toni Collette, for example. A lot of people want to make this comparison to Hereditary, which I will touch on later as well, because I don't entirely agree with the topics we are making about that on the internet, guys. But what's new here? Indy, incredible actress. She's phenomenal throughout this movie. Starting from the beginning, she portrays such a different character up until the point when the One Wish Willow snaps, wish granted. She becomes obsessed. Nikki is her character. Nikki becomes obsessed with our boy Bear. And he's not in too great of a spot here, which is, you know, what happens when you got that crazy old baddie that likes Hello Kitty or whatever. But all the way down to the costume designing as well for Nikki's character assists in portraying this wonderfully possessed version of herself. Shout out to the costuming department as well. I saw you guys over on TikTok. You guys are phenomenal at working the outfits into this movie, which we will also touch on. As plays into her character of this freaky Nikki. Because, you know, starting with this kind of jean jacket casual look that we will have on screen for everyone right here, because wow, everyone loves her right now. Everyone's talking about how gorgeous she is. Which, there we go, we got the casual jean jacket look. And after the possession, she is still wearing this. She goes over to his house, obviously tripping out, blames it on drugs. I know I said this wasn't going to be a recap, but for the sake of where we're going with the costume designing category, I must mention this stuff. After the possession, she switches a harsh change over from this more baggy clothing look that we would expect from her, and she comes back to apologize. Also want to mention this fact, this locked character silhouette sort of look that we have, always throughout the movie with her character after she loses her sense of individuality due to possession, sort of represents the void of character that is herself and her autonomy, English. But it's consistently shown throughout the movie with her character specifically of Nikki. We got the bedroom scene as well, which seems gnarly in theaters. Oh my gosh. And she looks crazy. We just saw behind the scenes photos of that as well. So here's this Uncanny Valley makeup look for her that we have as well to understand how she made her face look like that, because everybody was wondering, including myself. And just generally, this silhouette look that we have for this locked character, if for lack of a better term, I don't know what the actual term for the shot is called. I haven't really seen something similar to this where I can actually give it a term. But where only her eyes are glowing makes the rest of her a void. Very creepy shot. But back to where I started this whole sentence, conversation, whatever. We have her show up to apologize in a red dress, bright red dress, not like her at all compared to how we saw her in the last scene, because she is now possessed. This is the dream version of her, for example, which we'll make note of because she is eerily similar to Sarah, Bear's friend, who also they kind of have a crush thing going on as well. But he does not want to acknowledge that because he's Mr. Nice Guy and he's obsessed with Nikki and he's loyal to one person and he would never switch to go to Sarah because why would he do that? But then later in the movie, we know what happens. But she flips this kind of dress look, which is a lot more in line with Sarah's look. And this goes fully fledged in. Curry Barker literally throws it in your face by the end scene when she gets tatted up and has a black dress and is wearing Sarah's clothes. Gnarly stuff. That final scene, very Terrifier-esque in the gory, extreme ways. But as we progress through the movie, we keep having these very distinct, very different looks for Nikki compared to what she usually wears. Because she is possessed. Duh! Who would have guessed she's different because she's possessed? She acts very different. She moves very freakishly. She moves like claymation in stop motion in some of these scenes. Everyone's talking about, keeps joking about the frowny face one. That being included, as well as the smile one. Very Natalie Portman-esque as well. I don't know if I'll be able to find a screenshot of that, but like they're basically the same person, that shot. Overall, very tragic as well. Dive more into that over later at the end. Put a clip in that. But she can really express herself, and thank goodness for that, because we don't have enough of that. She's gnarly. Shout out Indy. Like, I know her personally or anything, or that she needs a shout out for me, but shout out, because that was an incredible performance, and I guarantee, as other people said online, that this will be talked about at least for the rest of the year. Hoping that means a nomination for award season. Moving on to the rest of the cast, because I don't want to make the whole video about Indy Neverett, even though we definitely could, because she is such an incredible actress in this alone. Hope to see more of her soon. Might need to check out her other work. But that's it for her for now. Moving on to Bear, he is the definition of Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not going to hurt anybody. He brings up his cat to guilt trip people that died. Because he needs some attention as well. You know, he wants Miss Nikki, Miss freaking Nikki, as he calls her, mistakenly. He wants some of her attention, and he doesn't get that. But Sarah's there to empathize, but he doesn't want Sarah because he's Mr. Nice Guy, and his brain is focused on one girl who is now obsessed with him. Ultimately, we need to make point. He is the bad guy here. He is not the good guy or the winner or anything of the stakes in this plot. It makes you sympathize with him at the beginning because, wow, this bitch crazy. But literally, she is crazy. Nikki is off the rails, bananas, after she gets possessed. And you will feel bad at first. It's what the movie wants you to do. But as the movie progresses, especially with everyone's favorite line they keep mentioning, what's so bad about being with me anyway, easily drops this guy all the way to the bottom of Mr. Stinkerbutt. Nope, like, you guys should not be supporting this guy or saying that he's a good guy or he's misunderstood or anything of the sorts. Because I don't know if YouTube will flag this or anything of the sorts, but he basically rapes Nikki. That's basically what the movie has subtext of. There's very sub-themes here. Very, very tragic stuff overall, and is a very touchy subject. I think pairs well with the drama's touch on gun violence and the youth and an infection of that. But this movie talks more on body horror-esque stuff. Very, very sad to watch. This movie ultimately led me walking away very sad at it. But yeah, Bear is a really villainous guy in this movie, especially after the first quarter point. We really should not like him. You really should not like him. If you still support this guy after the movie, you need some eyes on you, because, and maybe a brain in your head as well, because we should have you locked up. He's not a good guy. Her own sense of individuality is completely stripped after that wish. And as we see throughout the movie, we're back to talking about Indy Neverett again. She's phenomenal, and she snaps between both the possessed version and trying to break free multiple times throughout the movie. That's when we get these very screamy scenes, which, man, she can scream. Make note of that. Very gnarly scream she's got as well. Very loud. That was the only kind of con I had with the movie, is there were some parts with the sound design was way too loud, but found out that was just a problem with my theater, not my ears. I'm not deaf yet, guys. She snaps between both these personalities really well, and it creates these really horrific scenes as we get back to the bedroom scene in the middle of the night, which she's creeping around with her creepy crawly Uncanny Valley makeup. She can move her face. As we made note of earlier, she can move. Frowny face, smiley face, anything of the sorts, she can move. She got the claymation move. She can do it all. Very, very creepy stuff. She snaps between them, screams a lot, very loud, very frightening, very unsettling, very uncomfortable. A lot of very, very varies. Because, like I mentioned at the beginning, very phenomenal movie. Would highly recommend that we check this out. But we're not done here yet, so don't click away, please. Now, just because I mentioned that Bear is not the good guy, doesn't make Ian or Sarah's characters much safer either, because Sarah knowingly was preying on Bear. Not preying in that way, but preying in the fact that he is in a relationship. And again, some of y'all are crazy and want him because he's in a relationship, not y'all on the internet, but like, there's real stuff that happens, real situations that happen here, and obviously not to the extremities that we have here in the movie, but come on, this stuff happens. Not, again, whatever. No repetition. Sarah willingly, knowingly tries to get at Bear multiple times and make moves towards him in ways that you should not be doing as good friends. I'd say this would definitely be on the list of top 10 micro cheating moments on a TikTok list. Would you want your boyfriend doing all this? Probably not. So Sarah's not safe either. Still feel sympathy for her though. Rest in peace to the GOAT. She was chill as hell, even though she made some really questionable decisions there. Last on the list is Ian. You are not safe either because you willingly were hooking up with your boy's crush and backing him up saying that you got the sauce, bro. You got it goated. You are chill as fuck. You are gonna get her. He was hooking up with her the whole time. That's not your homeboy, bro. That's not your homeboy. But back on Bear here. He did it to himself. Hashtag Radiohead. Hashtag whatever you want to say. Also kind of expanding upon the topic I just mentioned. Despite this being a horror movie that has very extreme lengths it goes to with this obsession stuff, some of this is literally someone's life, by the way. Kind of makes awareness to that. Some people literally are living like, people will joke, oh, yo, girls got you on a leash, bro. You don't get to play, you don't get to ball with us. You don't get to play games with us no more. It gets worse. People literally live like this, and it is really sad and tragic. I have heard stories. I have seen them firsthand. It only gets worse. Again, not to the extremities that we are represented in this movie. Unless maybe they are, and I just don't hear about them. But this is a very real thing, despite it being very extreme. And it makes it all the more tragic, paired with all the horrible sub-themes that we have about Nikki's character. And looping back here, including Bear, back in the conversation once more, wants to be Mr. Nice Guy to the max because he knows nothing about Nikki. Everything he says, he's like, oh, wouldn't like that, wouldn't want that, wouldn't want this. When all of it that he's saying is stuff fabricated for his brain. So that's why ultimately this possessed version of Nikki is not Nikki, because it's all figments of his imagination. It's all made up in his brain. This is not the Nikki that he wanted, or the real Nikki. This is the Nikki he wanted. Which also, this all could have been easily passed up if he just had some little courage in his gut here, right outside the house during the beginning of the movie, which has been confirmed. So nobody tell me otherwise. It's confirmed now. Is canon. You can't tell me otherwise. Now onto the topic I mentioned earlier about people going, wow, this is the best horror movie since Hereditary, guys. This is super ball knowledge. This is super elite. You guys don't get it. It's so extreme. Either people are just repeating topics they hear on the internet like they always do for sake of recent topics. LARPing. Or y'all just don't use your brains enough. Because, as we have compiled a list here, ignore the horrible handwriting. Horror movies that have released since Hereditary, that I looked, that aren't dumb horror movies, that have some quality behind their name, despite them being franchise or not, or me agreeing with these or not. We will start. We have Weapons, Heretic, The Substance, Alien Romulus, Prey, Bring Her Back, 20 Years Later, Midsummer, Barbarian, X, Pearl, Longlegs, Nope, Talk to Me, Evil Dead Rise, Us, Smile, The Lighthouse, Halloween 2018, The Ritual, Saw X, also Smile 2, which leads us to about 21 movies that have released since Hereditary here in June of 2018 that you don't want to mention in the sake of saying this is the best horror movie since Hereditary. Which one? This is bad for the community. Why are we comparing stuff for the sake? Everyone knows, everyone's covered this before. Comparison theft of joy, comparison theft of quality, anything of the sorts, any way you want to phrase the phrase. We should not be comparing others of the same group if we're all trying to work together here as a horror community to make this as big of a thing as it is, because realistically, horror has been always something that evolves. And I think that the reason that none of these are mentioned is the fact that this fits the narrative most with it, since it's a smaller production, which this one realistically is 750,000 budget, already made back 16 million. Crazy success there. Shout out Curry Barker for that as well. He is balling up with the big leagues, which he already was. He's already working crazy deals out here. But nobody wants to mention anything off this list because it doesn't fit the narrative of, wow, this is the scariest movie since Hereditary. Like, oh my gosh, guys, you do, come on. Which was a conversation point with Longlegs, conversation point with Talk to Me, conversation point with Bring Her Back, conversation point with, what's the recent one? Undertone, which, agree or disagree, they were all trending community points online, which people will talk about in their articles and stuff to get it big numbers, big things, big names talking, because everyone knows. Scariest thing, it's the scariest thing on the internet. Come on, guys, everyone knows the scariest thing on the internet. People are passing out in these theaters. It's crazy. But again, 21 things at least that I could think of off the top of my mind written down on this list that have released since Hereditary. And I think it just doesn't fit the narrative is the point that I'm making for the trending articles online. We cannot be using that as an argument or a point of conversation to say this is so phenomenal because it's the best one since Hereditary, because I can assure you, while again some of these aren't on the same quality level as Hereditary or as scary or anything of the sorts, a lot of them fit this dingy vibe that is normally associated with this A24 style of this indie studio, which is not indie anymore either. People need to get that out of their heads as well. But quick little rant there, because y'all be dick riding Hereditary, which yes, it's good, but y'all need to hop off and stop using it as the standard for every single horror movie since, because there are different things. On to the talking point as well of there potentially being an anthology series of sorts for this, similar to how Halloween franchise originally was going to be. I don't know how I feel about that personally. Obviously, it's not my job to make this stuff. I'm sitting here in my room with my collection, making videos, talking into a camera. But I will put in my 2 cents that I don't think this should be a full film series with anthology like everyone's saying. I think the Lose Weight one has potential to be a full body horror styled full length film. But a lot of these I think should be similar to Curry Barker's other work on his short films, where they could just be an anthology series online or an anthology series similar to the first original Terrifier concept, whereas the 3 short films bashed into one big one, Hallows Eve. Yep. Y'all know. But I think that would work better as them being shorter little projects rather than fully fleshed out one for every single thing. Because, yes, that would be cool, but I also don't want him being locked into this stuff. Maybe if we get one maybe if we get one every couple years, but I would like Curry Barker to be locked in onto some other stuff. Texas Chainsaw and that other film he's working on with the Paranormal Activity stuff, phenomenal. I can't wait to see it, man. Like he's watching this again. If you are, shout out, because you make some fantastic stuff. I laughed a lot at your videos over quarantine. And ultimately, it leads me to give this movie a 4.5 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. I'm bouncing between there, leaning more towards the 5 out of 5. I only have the 4.5 on my letterbox because my crowd did not get it. Maybe it's an opening night issue, but y'all laugh at everything, which again, Nope is generational for that, at laughing or pointing out tragedy in turning it into an event, a spectacle of sorts, which it works here. Y'all really don't get it. This movie's really tragic. It left me really sad. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a phenomenal movie of all sorts. If you can watch it or find the chance to watch it, please watch it. Curry Barker has got the sauce. I'm ready to drown in the sauce. I'm ready to get lost in the sauce. Anything you want to say, I'm ready for it. I want more. I'm going to rewatch. I was going to rewatch today, but here we are making the video instead because I could not get this off my brain. This is no scariest movie of the year BS that we have online trending points on articles and stuff, but this is genuinely one of the best horror movies of recent times off memory. Definitely would recommend checking it out. Definitely would take anyone to check it out. See it as soon as possible. And as always, I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and like. notifications on so you're ready for the next release, because now that we're not tapped into the Resident Evil 9, we are tapped into movie stuff again for now, and probably music stuff as well soon. I'm working on it. I promise I'm not leaving the music people in the dark. Don't leave yet. I got you. Incredible stuff here. Today we talked about Obsession. Next time we will say some stuff about who knows what. But see ya.